here is just a little overview kind of my witchy space, kind of like my witchy corner. So I'm going to just show you guys around some of the different tools and stuff that I have, and what the space looks like, what I got. So come check it out. So here are some of my like crystal books and like chakra balancing tools. One of my newest books is the Crystal Skulls book that I showed you guys, and then so I've got my herbal books right over here. Some good history things, identification stuff on crystals, which are right there. This is absolutely my favorite crystal book, the Crystal Encyclopedia. The two, like, kind of paper things that I have right here and here, are the courses that I've taken before, which are tarot course and a vibrational crystal healing course. Then I have like some little notebooks, a couple of coloring books that are like cool metaphysically mandala stuff. And then a lot of these here are like my healing tools. Back over here in the corner, that's some of my angel tools that I like to use, and then these are the chakra stones here. So the platonic solids, and then different stones that have the symbols for each of the chakras. These are some of my favorite tools, and then I have a lodestone right here. So those are some of my favorite chakra balancing tools there. And then, so up here I've got my drum, and I have my singing bowl, some of my chakra pillows for chakra balancing on clients and stuff like that. I have like a cool little selenite wand there that's like a charging plate, and then my resin crystal skull. Up here I've got kind of like my personal development type books. Some of these I've like made it most of the way through. Some of them I still haven't actually read yet. The Sacred Contracts is a really fantastic book. I just got this new spiritual growth one from the thrift store. So, and then yeah, so some of these I do really like, and then a few I still haven't quite gotten to yet. These are just kind of up here when I move them out of my office space, just kind of hanging out. They don't really have any rhyme or purpose so much. And this is actually a sage wand that I made out of some sage that my neighbor gave me, which was super sweet of her, and that was really amazing. Here is the crystal scullies just kind of hanging out. They just finished a moon ritual the other day. So I hope this isn't too movie for you guys. I'm trying to keep it as steady as possible. So here I have my oracle cards. So I kind of have a lot of these up here in the top are like my Hay House decks, angels, other things like that. A few other oddball ones kind of outlying there. And then we go down further. I have some more oracle decks. The Mudras one is a favorite. And the essential oil one I love too. This row here, both of these two decks are like my newest ones. I still do need to do like a deck walkthrough or show and tell kind of thing, but this is just showing kind of how they're set up in my witchy space, and then I'll make another video where I go through and like actually show the cards, I suppose. And then here are some of my like larger decks, tarot. And then a lot of my materials, like tarot books and stuff. I just recently got the Holistic Tarot. And then some of my journals and things like that also are there, along with just like my crystal chips are just kind of hanging out there because I don't really have any other place for them to go right now, since I moved everything out of like my other space that I had before. So then we have this bookshelf. I have all of my pops up here. I've got like my little angels, some older type books right there. Here is kind of like the start of like my apothecary stuff. I don't have too many herbs because as I was starting to collect, I knew I was going to be moving soon, so I didn't want to get too many. I'm going to have to pack all those up in baggies and then pack all the glasswares. And over here is kind of like, I'm trying to think of what you would call it, like, you know, there's like fairies, and then there's an encyclopedia of like, I don't know, mystical things, I suppose. So that's kind of like this section over here. I have some Amy Brown books for fairies, which I love so much. I have, this is like my astrology section. So I have my favorite Zodiac book. That was one of the first books I ever got on astrology and such. It's super basic, it's sun signs. Then I have the birthdays book, the only astrology you'll ever read book, which is amazing. And I just recently got this stars and planets book from the thrift store, which is really awesome. I'll also show you guys quickly a little bit of my apothecary jars and stuff that are in here. So this is actually like a old sewing thing that my grandmother had, and it's literally perfect for just like some small herb bottles and things like that. I had ordered a cool little like witch's magical herb kit that's just for magical uses, not internal or anything, in those little baggies up there. Then everything that's kind of like in the jars right here mostly are things from the kitchen. So these are all things that are literally just placed up here for convenience of having to go downstairs to the kitchen to grab a lot of these things. A lot of the bottles in the front are just little bottled teas that I put in bottles so that I don't have to go downstairs again. And then I have actually like some, I don't know, dead bugs and stuff that are in these. I have a bee that had just kind of landed on my windshield, dead, and so I kind of bottled him up. And then I have a few other little things in the Altoid. I have a butterfly and some things like that that just kind of arrived in my space. So here are the bulk of kind of like my more like witchy oriented books. I do have a few fiction books right there, but for the most part, these are kind of some of the books right here that I started with. Some newer spell books, and then this is kind of like my goddess section, women's section, you know, beginning of religious studies section kind of a thing going on there. Quite a few of those I've actually gotten from the thrift store also, which is really great. I got the mythology, the goddesses in every woman, care of your soul, the goddess renewing, I think is what that says. I can read it from the viewfinder. And Aphrodite's daughters. I got all of those from the bookstore or not the bookstore, sorry, the thrift store. And the Pele Goddess one. But most of the other ones I bought because I definitely wanted to have those. And then this is just kind of like a mini health section. Most of my health books are downstairs, but these are just kind of like, you know, reflexology, yoga, more healing kind of stuff. Then I have like my Reiki section. I have a few different Reiki manuals. I have my Lemurian Light course printed out there in one of those like manuscript type things. I have angel numbers printed out in the other one, and then some of my angel seraphim blueprint stuff. My chakra books. These are my favorite chakra books that I love so much. I have some Buddhist and Taoist texts and books of that nature, and then I have some Native American books there and shamanic stuff. Here is just kind of a mishmash of stuff. The gray thing actually has like a bunch of crystals and stuff. I'll go ahead and just kind of like show you guys briefly. So I kind of just have those in this little storage box here, which is really... And then some of these are just a few of these over here on the left are actually spillover stuff that I didn't really have a place to put anything. And then a lot of I have my Book of Shadows, my daily texts, my About Me, and then my Scully's book right there with my little pen wand. Okay, so here I have kind of like my little angel goddess kind of corner. I've got like my little angel statue, lots of crystals, like Lemurian crystals and other things like that that kind of go with them. I've got my Mother Mary and my like Venus / Aphrodite statue there also. This is where I have like more of like my fiction books, right? I think that's right. So I've got like my Harry Potter, some other books that I'm reading that I picked up from the thrift store, some Jane Austen stuff, my little witchy chests that I've had actually since I was like little. Those have been my favorite and have gone with me for so long. Some Twilight, and then I have like my big Shakespeare book down there, some wands, Edgar Allan Poe, some cool stuff like that. And then this kind of leads off into like my altar space over here. So I've just kind of got like some crystals going on here. This is a lamp, a Himalayan salt lamp. And this is the current state of my altar space. I haven't cleaned it up recently, but that's just kind of all of the things that are hanging out right there right now. You've probably seen a lot of pictures on my Instagram here. But that's all just kind of chilling right now, kind of in a little bit of a disarray. And then this is actually a kind of like a bigger altar space that I have. This is like a little wooden hutch thing, and so this is kind of where more of like my main space has been for a very long time. It's changed very dramatically over the years, but this is kind of my kind of more of like my daily space and workings and stuff like that. Messages, things, makes a lot of space to be able to lay things out, cards and all of that jazz here. And then this is actually a large amethyst slab that my grandpa gave me, which was so amazing. So, because he had it in his house and apparently didn't want it. And I love it so much. I remember it since I was a kid, so it has a lot of really great memories, which is really sweet. And then just some of like my crystal ball spheres and, you know, a selenite lamp here, which is freaking amazing. Selenite lamps are so healing and wonderful. But that really is kind of like the space. I've got like a little, other than that, I've got like a little chakra dream catcher here, and kind of like a little witchy deal there, and then my little kind of an angel in there. So that is just kind of like a bit of an overview of my space, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!